There are over 1 billion cars in the world. In the United States alone, there are 239.8 million cars. All of these vehicles must fill up on gas. Although there are many different choices, it comes down to the main two, ethanol or regular gasoline.
Ethanol is a biofuel produced by the distillation of grain crops, mostly corn. Gasoline is made of crude oil, which is from the pressurized remains of animals and plants that lived millions of years ago.
Ethanol is known to be environmentally friendly. It reduces greenhouse gases, has a positive net energy balance, is biodegradable, has usable byproducts, and today almost all cars on the road are fuel flexible. However, there is still much controversy whether this fuel is truly better than diesel.
Would you recommend personally a higher percentage of ethanol?
No, not as long as we're dependent on corn ethanol.
Why?
It only reduces in relationship to gasoline, it only reduces carbon or greenhouse gas emissions by perhaps 30%. There's energy used in processing, there's energy used in growing it, and it competes for food.
Although ethanol has its disadvantages, are the environmental benefits worth the change of fuel? According to 2 Iowa natives, ethanol is environmentally and financially necessary to a better, brighter future.
Do you prefer regular gasoline or ethanol?
I'd rather have ethanol because it supports Iowa, if I had to choose.
Okay. Have you ever noticed a difference in your car's performance with a change in gas?
No.
Does the environmental impact of the specific type of fuel have an impact on your decision?
It doesn't now, but it will moving forward, for sure.
Okay. Do you think the government should enforce ethanol-only restrictions?
I think they're going to have to start doing it, yes.
How come?
Because fossil fuels are starting to heat up the atmosphere.
When getting gas, do you pay attention to what kind of gas you are putting into your vehicle?
I do.
What type of gas do you get, ethanol or regular gasoline?
Usually ethanol.
Does the environmental impact of the specific type of fuel have an impact on your decision?
It does. It does. I drive a hybrid now. I changed that over a few years ago, and so I try to do things a little bit more environmentally conscious.
Okay. Do you think the government should enforce ethanol-only restrictions?
I do. I like what they're doing nowadays with requiring automakers to do more environmentally friendly cars, and so I think that they should spread some of that encouragement into gas production as well.
Okay. How important do you think this topic is to the farmers in Iowa?
Really important. My brother still farms up in Northeast Iowa. I grew up on a farm. I know that ethanol has brought a lot of financial stability with a lot of farmers in our area, so I think it would help if there's more ethanol use in the U.S. for the farmers.
Okay. All right, thank you.
According to these locals, the environmental impact of the fuel is a very important factor when choosing. For a lot of people, it also comes down to the differences in price, shown in this graph. Not only is switching regular gasoline to ethanol important to these locals for financial and environmental reasons, but this important controversy has reached the national debate levels. Listen in to Bernie Sanders as he speaks on changing current fuel policies, lowering greenhouse gas emissions, and using biomass fuels in our country and how soon these changes need to be put into effect.
It seems clear to me what we should be doing, and I think the scientific community is in agreement. First, we need to aggressively expand energy efficiency all over this country. In terms of older homes and buildings, we can save an enormous amount of fuel, cut carbon emissions, lower fuel bills, create jobs if we do that. Furthermore, we must move aggressively to such sustainable energies as wind, solar, biomass, geothermal, and other technologies, and we must invest in research and development to make those technologies even more efficient. In my view, it is a no-brainer to say that we must reject the proposed Keystone XL pipeline once and for all. We need to end tax breaks and subsidies for oil and coal companies, which amount to well over $10 billion a year. We should not be subsidizing those companies that are helping to destroy our planet. Finally, we need to price carbon through a carbon tax or some other approach so that the real cost of burning carbon are reflected in the price. And I'm very proud that Senator Barbara Boxer, chairperson of the Environmental Committee, and I introduced such legislation last year. Bottom line is, Mr. President, we are in a pivotal moment in history. This Congress has got to act. It has to act boldly. And when we do that, when we cut greenhouse gas emissions, when we transform our energy system, we can save many people money on their fuel bills, we can cut pollution in general, we can cut greenhouse gas emissions significantly, and we can create good-paying jobs all over.
In a world where global warming is becoming a very prevalent problem, we need better fuel that is safer for our environment and supplies jobs for people in our own country. Any decrease in greenhouse gas emissions is needed, and the government must take action and make ethanol as the main source of fuel in the United States.